Alternator Man here. What you're looking at is the AD244 Series Alternator, the CS130D, the CS130, and back here we have the AD244, but in a triple bridge rectifier. What the triple bridge rectifier is you have one bridge rectifier in this back of this alternator, and you have two bridge rectifiers in this box. The bridge rectifier, of course, is a component that converts AC current to DC current in alternators. It's the #1 component to fail. So if you've got a real high demand situation, they're limited on how big a rectifier can go in the back of this alternator. So the only solution is to add additional rectifiers in the remote box running parallel. You run a battery wire from here to the positive post, negative from here as well, and that parallels the rectifiers inside of this alternator here and in this box. It makes them all run together as one. This alternator with the two rectifiers here and one rectifier here has a total of 18 diodes that splits that power up being generated out of that alternator and converts it to DC. One of the toughest alternators out there. It's the best situation. You're not going to get better than 18 diodes in a setup like this without a custom made rectifier, which go out of sight. But anyway, this is about adapting the AD244. This is the CS130D alternator. This came out of my 2001 GMC Jimmy, and I've added some equipment, a 1000-watt inverter, and so this little alternator is not keeping up anymore. It's got the same 4-pin plug as the AD244, and to install this in here, this alternator had a bracket to the back here. It was just a little tin bracket, thin one, and all I had to do is push that bracket back with my hand. I didn't even take it off. The earlier CS130Ds have a thicker bracket on it. Those are harder to bend back, so you'd have to take that one off. But once you do that, then you can install this great big AD244. This is excellent for snow plows, off-roady vehicles, winches, people with stereos, anything in high emergency vehicles. People under high demand situations. It's got the same round-ended 4-pin plug that will match. We have regulators for the AD244 that will match the regulator in the CS130D. So it's the bolt pattern. This bolt pattern from here to here is exactly the same on the 130D. So this is virtually a drop-in setup for your GM vehicles. Drop-in and plug-in from 96 on up on these. 96 was about the first year that they used the 130D. And this comes with this one here has got a copper based bridge rectifier with a copper plated battery post. It's an excellent type unit. I'm not going to the dual rectifier on here because I don't have that high a demand, but I'm going to be running my inverter mostly when the vehicle's idling, so I do want a lot of good idle output, which this one will do it. At the higher amps, it is because it's a bigger unit, it can absorb and dissipate the heat better, so it's a lot better, a lot longer lasting. This AD244 can also potentially replace the earlier CS130 alternator. You have your CS130D series and you have your CS130 series. These are both 130 millimeter diameter at the stator. That's what that means. They're both 105 amp. This one starts out at 145 amp. We've got we got a version of the 130 amp, but that was the very early one. Later on, they moved them up 145 amp and 150 amp. To use this 130 setup, what you got, this bolt pattern almost matches this, and we can modify the AD244 to match this bolt pattern right here. The only difference is the CS130 has got a bracket that goes to the back of the alternator here. In a lot of cases, you have to trim that bracket down because this alternator is deeper. It's a bit deeper, so it's going to interfere with that bracket that's here. So you're going to have to trim that bracket out. But other than that, we can modify the alternator to set up in here, and you're going to have to change the plug. The CS130 has a 4-pin rectangle plug, where the AD244 has a 4-pin round-ended plug. But you can go these alternators on the 130 alternator. Started in about 1990, a little bit earlier, but that mounting style is even more difficult to mount in. But if you got a 1990 up to the 1995 vehicle in that area that's got the 130 on it, you can go up to the AD244, and this is going to give you a lot of power. Like I said, all you have to do is you would have to change your plug because it's going from the rectangle plug to the round-ended plug, and we do have those plugs. And you'll have to trim the bracket where this bolt bolts on here. The AD244 has got 4 through bolts in it. It's a much more stable alternator. It doesn't need that rear bracket. In fact, as you don't see any rear mounting on this, GM completely eliminated any potential of needing a rear bracket. These are such a good alternator. The way they fit together, they're just excellent.